2021. It happened. I say that with different connotations than last year because when compared to last year, 2021 was tame. Not perfect by any stretch, but it was a step in the right direction. There was still a lot that went wrong, but again, this is not a channel that likes to talk about such serious topics. I'm only here to help you forget about your worries for 2 or 10 minutes at a time. Nothing more. So with that, let's talk about the channel. So, this year, yeah, it was a bit rough. Not as far as production and playing goes, but my channel was pretty dead. Because I love feeling like what I'm doing is pointless, I tallied up every week how many subscribers I gained or lost, and it starts out pretty promising, but then it drops off a little bit. But then it springs back up, and then it tapers back off again. In truth, it felt pretty bleak by August, but I kept pushing because I love you guys. That being said, it took longer than I care to admit to break 390 subscribers, let alone get anywhere else. Right, with the sad note on the state of my channel out of the way, let's talk about more important stuff, which is all the music production and all the music videos that I shot this year. You know, a lot of fucking insane stuff. I'm also making all my videos on a budget of $0. My mom does all the filming now. Of course, I released my first album of original material at the start of the year, with varying levels of goodness between all the songs, and also a slightly wider repertoire of songs, mainly consisting of these things. Yeah, Undertale and Deltarune kind of took over for a while there, but I'm okay with it. You guys seem to be okay with it too. Can't forget the new guitars, the Sterling JP60, the custom Warmoth Nomad guitar, and the Schecter C7 SLS Elite Multiscale. 3 guitars in 1 year is some kind of record as far as I'm concerned, because it's so rare for me to buy new guitars now. Love that C7, by the way. It's been absolutely killer on everything I've recorded with it. And with that, let's talk about the statistics for the year. A little adjustment to something that I said last year. I realized that the statistics are actually important for me to cover because they actually show how much I've grown over the last year. So with that, let's actually talk about them. At the start of the year, I had around 311 subscribers to my name, and I'm ending it with what I assume is around 440 subscribers. I say assuming because I'm filming this 2 weeks early again. I'm not going to edit this in enough time otherwise. Still, this means that I have grown my channel by around 129 subscribers. Says something about the crowd I've generated, yeah? Starting the year, I had around 13,365 channel views, and I now have more than 30,000. I doubled my view count in 365 days. A lot of that wasn't from videos that I released this year, but rather videos from last year that gained a sudden surge in virality. I made 43 video game covers, 10 of which were medleys, 6 vlog-style videos, 11 original songs, 1 album, and a whole lot of Undertale and Deltarune. Not to mention I've officially made more than 100 video game covers. And speaking of that, I was also amazed to find this out a couple weeks ago, that I have now officially made more than 6 hours worth of music. The specific number is 6 hours, 40 minutes, and 40 seconds. I have made more than a quarter of a day worth of music. I have covered 81 unique songs, 92 if you count duplicates from previous years, and I have played a cover of at least 1 song from 51 games. So, with the statistics covered, fucking Christ, that's such a tongue twister. So with the stats covered, let's move on to the awards show, AlphaStorm's Cover Medley Awards. Last year I called it AlphaStorm's Previous Year Awards, but the ACMAs makes a lot more sense. Before we get into it, let's discuss the rules. First, the selections for these awards are my opinion. If you disagree with any of my picks, feel free to voice them in the comments, but this is just how I feel about each selection, with 2 notable exceptions. Second, I'm allowing 1 video to get more than 1 award. As much as I hate to do it, there were actually a few videos that were eligible and won more than 1 award. Third, I will only be listing the top 5 in any given category. This is mainly to make editing easier for me because I really struggled with this section last year, so give me a goddamn break. Fourth, unless otherwise noted, I'm enacting a 1 entry per game rule. This way I can't just make the nominees be Undertale and Deltarune songs, because that would make the nominees biased quite heavily in favor of Undertale and Deltarune. Despite the fact I was quite into those covers, it just doesn't seem right. This also applies to all the awards with 4 exceptions. And finally, these awards are just in good fun. Please don't take any of them seriously. Just because one video did better in a specific category than any of my other videos does not mean that it's objectively better than any of my other videos overall. This is just in good fun. So with that, let's discuss the categories. Most subscribers from a video. This has always been weird every time I've tried to quantify it, but this year I'm going to be going with my analytics statistic. I'm able to see how many subscribers I gain from any given video in my analytics. This won't be perfect because I know that's not entirely accurate all the time. In fact, I'm filming this so far in advance that maybe the winner of this actually isn't true anymore. Most views on a video. This counts only for 2021 videos, so Breakout won't win again even though it's my most viewed video right now. So any video game cover released from the 14th of March to the 26th of December is eligible for this award. And both this award and the last award are exempt from the 1 entry per game rule. Best single cover and medley arrangement. This depends exclusively on how intricate I got with the arrangement and if I felt like I added something to the song or songs with how I did so. These will be in 2 separate awards for singles and medleys. Best playing. Disregarding the solos, the songs that grew my playing beyond what I thought I was capable of, or the songs that I was most into and it showed in the recording. Best solo. Disregarding the pre-existing melodies, the song that I wrote the best solo for. This could be dependent on how it fit into the cover, or how I flowed into it. Easiest song. The song which I didn't necessarily challenge myself with, which isn't actually a bad thing. I need easier songs every now and then, but this could also apply to songs that I could have made harder for myself but instead took the easy road. Hardest song. The song that I knew right from the start was going to be the hardest thing I was going to play this year. This quantifies the songs that grew my playing way beyond what I thought I was capable of. This also includes specifically pre-existing melodies and solos. The Throwaway Award. The song which I consider to be the worst of the year. The song which I'd rather not talk about ever again. Fun fact, this was actually really hard to give because I thought all of my videos were actually pretty good, but there was one that stuck out. Best Single and Medley. Sadly, I wasn't able to do this as a viewer-based voting system this year. I said last year that if I felt like I had enough of a following, I would make this viewer-based, but I simply don't feel like I do. So, based on a mix of all the previous awards, the song which I consider to be the best of the year. This also applies for both singles and medleys. And finally, my personal favorite single and medley, aka AlphaStorm needs to insert himself into his own awards show even though no one asked and it's already named after him. And I claim I don't have an inflated ego. These two are also exempt from the 1 entry per game rule. So with that, here are the nominees. For most subscribers on a video, the nominees are... And the winner is Sonic Blaster by F777. This song is going to win 3 awards, so buckle the fuck up. This one blew up for some reason around June. Maybe it's because this song is heavily associated with Geometry Dash and it still has a community going. For some reason. I don't know why. I have a love-hate relationship with Geometry Dash, I'll put it that way, but pretty much all you need to know is that this video won most subscribers overall. For most views, the nominees are... And the winner is again Sonic Blaster by F777. Same situation with this. I genuinely don't know why this video blew up as it did. Maybe it's because it's a good song? I don't know, but it got the most views and it has well more than 2,000 by the time you're seeing this. For the best single song arrangement, the nominees are... And the winner is The World Revolving from Deltarune. A friend of mine for the longest time considered this to be my best cover. That friend knows who they are, but I honestly kind of agree with them. Turning The World Revolving into something of a power metal song was actually way cooler than I thought it would. It was also really easy to arrange because of that. For the best medley arrangement, the nominees are... Well, I said that most of these awards are my opinion, so with that in mind, which medley do you think I think had the best arrangement? If you said the Undertale medley, you're actually wrong because it's the one-shot medley because I actually prefer it. There's a unique charm that one-shot soundtrack has, which made it really interesting to arrange. Just with the time signature changes in Distant and the 17/16 measure in Library Stroll, this was a lot of fun to arrange. For Best Playing, the nominees are... And the winner is, surprisingly, National Park from Pokemon Gold and Silver. This only ekes out the award just because it's the only jazz-inspired track I've done, and it's simply something that I'm just not used to. I've not done a lot of jazz-inspired stuff aside from maybe the intro to Snowden Town. So despite the other nominations in this category objectively being more impressive, I think just for what it did for my playing and arranging style, I think the National Park has to get the award. For Best Solo, the nominees are... And the winner is Battle Against a True Hero from Undertale. This was one of those rare times where I improvised and it just worked. But that said, the main reason why this gets the award is for the pseudo-shred first lick that it had. I had been practicing these kinds of licks for such a long time that when I did it semi-cleanly with no string noise, I was absolutely floored and had to go with this version of the solo. It's amazing what pick angle does for your playing. For the easiest song, the nominees are... And the winner is Phosphor from One Shot. In truth, this song is great at what it wants to achieve. I don't mean to call it bad by saying that it's simple. It's just that the song itself was really simple, which made it really easy to translate to guitar. If you're a beginner guitarist and want a nice easy video game song to learn, this is another good one to go with. For the hardest song, the nominees are... And the winner is Attack of the Killer Queen from Deltarune. In truth, there actually weren't a ton of hard songs this year. They've gotten progressively easier as time has gone on, but this song was still the hardest thing that I played this year. I was scared to do the song ever since I first heard it in Chapter 2, but I was so glad I overcame those fears because this song ended up turning out to be really fucking fun to do. For the Throwaway Award, the nominees are... So, yeah, sorry, I'm not really the biggest fan of this cover. That's not to say anything about Jesse Valentine's work, but more so, mine. This song is still fantastic all on its own, but the way that I did it really didn't add that much to the song. I know a lot of people liked it, but this was just the weakest cover of the year, in my opinion. And now we make it to the best of the year. Starting with single covers, the nominees are... Remember that these are partially subjective because I was the one who selected them. You can find my criterion for how I judge these covers in the comments section. So with that, the winner of Best Single Cover of the Year is The World Revolving from Deltarune. There was more than just the arrangement that this track won. Even if the mix left something to be desired, between the solos, my energy, how I arranged the song like power metal, and the fact that it was a transition into music videos for every video left this as a definite winner for Best Single. Next, for Best Medley of the Year, the nominees are... And the winner of the Best Medley of the Year is the Boss Battle Themes Medley. The same friend who said that The World Revolving was my best video ended up saying that this video was my best video, and again, I kind of agree with them. Part of the reason why I think this is the best medley though is also because people seem to really love boss battle themes. This was one of the few videos of the last couple weeks that actually did way better than I thought it would. There was that, and also I had great energy in the video, and it was a lot of fun to film too, and you could kind of see that. So because of that, I think objectively this is the best medley that I've done. But that doesn't mean that either of those nominations and winners were my favorites. Starting with single covers, here are the nominations for my personal favorite. Wow, what a variety of choices. Of these, I think my selection has to be Asgore's theme from Undertale. This was the first cover I did after finishing Undertale for the first time, and while the mix isn't anything to write home about, the song itself, my attitude while playing it, and the instrumentation made this personally one of my favorite covers overall. And finally, for my favorite medley, the nominees are... Well, any guess? Really, what's the one game that I've not shut up about all year? This isn't only my favorite medley, but also my favorite thing that I've ever produced. If you haven't guessed it by now, you really haven't been paying attention. It's the one medley that I started 3 months in advance and led to the single largest leap in my production and playing skills. Without creating any more artificial tension to keep you guessing at my pick, with no surprise at all, the Undertale medley is my favorite video for this last year. God, I have an endless amount of things I could say about this video, and it's just endless praise. It was towards the end of producing it that I realized that this wasn't just an Undertale medley that I was making. I was making my perfect project, and while it's not really very different to any other medleys that came before it, come on, just let me have this. Between a larger sounding snare, a thicker bass, an audible rhythm guitar, and a listenable lead guitar, and everything else in between, this is the single best thing I think I'll ever make. This concludes AlphaStorm's Cover Medley Awards, and now, as is tradition, let's talk about changes that are going to be happening over the next year. We have a lot to roll through, so buckle the fuck up. First off, I will take a break as usual, but it will only be for 2 weeks. Taking 3 months, even if it was just so that I could release Zodiac, was actually kind of pointless. I work really fast on my covers and I'm a massive workaholic, so I had already built up a stockpile of videos up to May by the time videos started actually releasing. So instead, I'm going to be taking 2 weeks to build up a small stockpile of videos, and then I'm going to start things up again. I will also release a video before I start covers again like I normally do that will discuss things that will be of interest over the next year. Second, I'm not going to be doing medleys in the same way anymore. Maybe this is just my casual gamer's mindset, but I kind of ran out of medley subjects after the one-shot medley was finished. So I'm going to be phasing them out. Or rather, I'm actually going to be doing them when I think they'd be appropriate to do. Doing 10 this last year was a nice challenge, but it almost became too much. Third, the Rainbow Road EP. I'm one of a small number of people who has dedicated at least 2 minutes to every single Rainbow Road song thus far. And as a result of that, I'm going to be releasing an EP in January which will have all of my Rainbow Road covers with an updated sound for you to listen on Spotify. This EP will be coupled with Medley, which, due to it costing more for me to license than I get in sales, will not be on the EP. I'm also going to be redoing the arrangement for the Super Mario Kart Rainbow Road because that also is in part a medley, and as a result I won't get any money off that. Fourth, I'm going to be moving my release times back from 2 PM PST to 11 PM PST. This is largely in aid of a few of my friends and family back in the United Kingdom who are usually in bed and asleep by the time my videos actually came out. And along with this, I'm not going to be doing premieres anymore. I have a number of reasons for this, chief among which is the fact that no one actually came to them. Maybe I'll do them again in the future, but as it stands right now, if no one's coming up to them, I really don't see any reason to be doing them. Fifth, I'm going to be moving my studio again. I know the camera doesn't really do it justice, but it is so cramped in here all the time. This light takes up so much space, and usually I light my videos with 2 lights. So as a result of that, I'm moving to another room that's in my house that is a little bit bigger, so that way I can have both the lights and my recording setup, and I can actually film my videos in my studio. I'll talk a little bit about this on the video I release before I start up covers again. Sixth, for the patrons, I'm going to be changing how I do my early bird covers. As it stands right now, I'm kind of rushed off my ass to get my videos done a week in advance, so I'm going to be moving the release dates from a week before the video comes out to the day before the video comes out. So the next early bird cover will be available on the 15th of January. And finally, 2022 may be the last video where I do weekly video game covers. Now, I have a number of reasons for this. First of all, by the end of 2022, it will have been 3 whole years that I have done weekly video game covers without any major breaks, with the exception of the release of Zodiac. My psyche needs a little bit of a break because of that. I mean, 3 years of weekly video game covers really fucks with you. Second, I'm losing more and more time to college. I entered college for commercial music at the beginning of the year, and because of that, my time to dedicate towards YouTube has slowly started to disperse. Between that, a big project coming soon, having my own separate part-time job, and also trying to learn new skills on my own time, I need time to make sure that I can make shit work. And finally, taking extended breaks will give me time to play new games, so that way I have more soundtracks to do covers for. Now, I will state that I will still upload, they'll just be a little bit more infrequent. Maybe a few studio updates here and there, a cover every once in a while, never more than about 2 months apart. So I'm not going to disappear entirely. This is just to give me time so I can learn new mixing and production skills, and then flesh them out, and then actually put them into practice in videos. But that being said, there's still a chance that I'll decide not to stop and keep going in spite of college. But if I do decide to stop, I'll begin doing weekly covers again once I get my life sorted in 2025. That's all in the future. Every possibility of my channel's future relies solely on how 2022 goes. So, won't you join me in heading for the future? Happy New Year, Dragonites. Stay classy and remember, a dragon is only as strong as you let it be. I'll see you in the skies.